Alex Steen took care of the main part of the Jordan Kyrie trade today, and the Blues add more cost-controlled talent to their core for many years to come. This is the Harry Loomis Show. Welcome back into the Harry Loomis Show. My name is Harry Loomis. Today is 7:06 on July 16th here in Columbus, Ohio. Big news from the St. Louis Blues today, taking care of one Connor McMichael. The big piece of the Jordan Kyrie trade got signed today to a 6-year deal worth $6.75 million per year. McMichael, a 25-year-old player that'll take him to his age 31 season into unrestricted free agency. This is a good move for the Blues. McMichael filed for arbitration a couple weeks back. The Blues getting ahead of it and locking up another player that they obviously view as very valuable if he's going to be the centerpiece of the Jordan Kyrie trade. For a guy like McMichael, who the Blues probably expect to play their second line left wing, but who can play center, can play first line, can even play third line if needed. This versatility is definitely worth just under $7 million for the next 6 years. And he fits the Blues timeline, which is a big thing for them. All of their moves have been about working within the timeline. McMichael's a 25-year-old player. He'll slot in perfectly with the Blues core. They have a really good core of young players, not just in terms of talent, but in terms of value and in terms of term as well. Obviously, Robert Thomas making just over $8 million for the next multiple years. Dylan Holloway signed his 5-year deal this year at just under $8 million. They brought in Mason McTavish this year at $7 million. Connor McMichael now just under $7 million. Those four combined players for probably the Blues' top four forwards, maybe Jimmy Snuggerud's in there, are going to be making just under $30 million for the next 5 years minimum. That number does not include Philip Broberg, the Blues' number one defenseman, who just signed this past season for 6 years at $8 million per year. Of those guys, Robert Thomas is the oldest of them at 27. Dylan Holloway's only 24, McTavish 23, McMichael 25, and Broberg 25, both of them first rounders from the 2019 class. They are set up very, very well to build around those core guys and potentially maybe attract one of those stars that Doug Armstrong is talking about with the Brady Tkachuk deal. It's St. Louis is a town. You're not going to attract players just on the town alone. It's a great organization. Players that come in absolutely love it, but you're going to have to build some talent around that. You're going to have cap available. You're going to have a young, promising group of guys that a player with control over where he goes is going to look at that team and be like, this is where I want to be. This is where I want to play. Obviously, the on ice production is going to be more important than just having good contracts, but this is a very good start right now going into 27-28. The Blues, according to Puckpedia, have over $46 million of cap space to play with, and they don't have a bunch of business to take care of next season in terms of free agents, but there are some guys that they are going to have to pay up for. The three in particular, the Blues are going to have to pay up for: Jake Neighbors, who's on the last year of his bridge deal, paying him $3.75 million. Jimmy Snuggerud, who's entering the last deal of his entry-level contract. That one, I think, is going to be the big one. And goaltender Joel Hofer still has 1 year of RFA eligibility with arbitration rights. He's making $3.4 million this year. Free agent next year. He is going to for sure get a raise. And that's not all the free agents the Blues have. Pius Suter's a pending UFA after this year. Who knows if he'll be back? Jonathan Berggren just signed a 1 year deal. Who knows with him? Torrey Krug is still listed. This will be the last year of his 7 year contract. We know he's likely never going to play again. Brandon Carlos, pending UFA. Tyler Tucker is a UFA, and Logan Mayu is a restricted free agent. He signed a 1 year deal last year. This year, he's going to be making $850,000. And you can't forget Jordan Binnington either. The last year of his $6 million contract. Who knows what's going to happen? If he does come back, it is obviously not going to be at a $6 million cap hit. I don't expect the Blues to have any issues signing any of the big three: Neighbors, Snuggerud, and Hofer, not just because they're all restricted free agents, but because the Blues clearly value each of them and envision them as being part of that core that we keep talking about. Neighbors 24, Snuggerud 22, Hofer 25. Not just are these guys valuable members of the team now, they're going to be valuable for many years to come. I don't expect any of them to hit July 1st of next year without a contract. Of the three, the one I would expect the least for Alex Steen to let walk into restricted free agency is Snuggerud. Obviously, that is the Blues kind of big. If they had a blue chip, not even prospect, Snuggerud is the closest thing. He's definitely the best young player they have, at least on his entry level contract. 50 points in his rookie year, already established as a first liner. Knocked Jordan Kyrou down. The depth chart is going to be slotted next to Robert Thomas. at least to start the year. I'd be surprised unless things go wrong if he's anywhere else. No telling what his contract is going to be. The Blues obviously value these longer term contracts. They're willing to pay a little bit more to a younger player like they did with Thomas, like they did with Kyrou, to ensure that that player is going to be there for all of their peak years. Jimmy Snuggerud, if he signed a 7-year deal when he's eligible, because that's going to be the max, that's going to walk him to his age 30 season when he's going to hit unrestricted free agency. So I could see the Blues trying to go as long as they can there, pay a little bit extra. He might not be an $8-9 million player, but he sure will be by the time he's in his late 20s. Sacrificing a little bit now when you have cap space to save a little bit in the future. Neighbors is interesting. He signed his $3.75 million deal the year after he scored, what was it, 27 goals in the 23-24 season. He's 100% worth $3.75 million for what he brings, that grit and that middle six presence, the power play contributions, is in tight scoring. He obviously loves being a St. Louis Blue. The Blues obviously love him. When you think Blues hockey, you think of a guy like Jake Neighbors. Not sure what his contract would look like though. He doesn't seem like a $7 million player. I could see maybe a 5 by 5, maybe $6 million, because I think he is a peg below those big four of Thomas, Holloway, McTavish, and McMichael. But obviously still a young player who gives you just a little bit of substance that those four really don't, and you don't really want necessarily need them to. I think the Blues are going to take care of Jake Neighbors. And then Joel Hofer, he is the Blues starter going forward, 100%. Very interesting to see what's going to happen with the goalie situation going forward. But Hofer, I could see kind of a similar deal to what Binnington got, maybe a 6 by. I'm not sure if he'll be a $6 million goalie. Goalies are weird. The highest, if you're paying a goalie top dollar like you're paying a forward, you're probably in trouble. Igor Shesterkin is a perfect example. He's making over $11 million, and he struggled. At least the Rangers have struggled ever since they got that contract. Connor Hellebuck is the best goalie in the league, not this past year. He's making under $9 million, and that's not even helping the Jets. They're struggling right now. So top goalies just don't make what top skaters make. And especially with Hofer, who's shown little bits of inconsistency here and there, he's not going to be making, top echelon goalie money, but I think he's going to make a nice mid-range deal for the Blues that I think everyone will be happy with. It's definitely a good situation that the Blues are in. I don't expect a whole lot more action this offseason. The NHL roster is going to be some combination of these guys who are already signed and are already here, but very exciting things ahead. I think the McMichael contract is a really solid one. I think it's going to age well this first season, and it's going to look even better, going into his age 30-31 season when he's going to be at the tail end of that, with the cap continuing to move up. I think $6.75 million for McMichael, if he is what I expect him to be, that 55 point player who can score in tight and can bring a little bit of versatility, is going to be a really solid deal for the Blues. So I'll wrap it up tonight. A little bit of a shorter video, but wanted to get my thoughts on the McMichael signing and kind of what this means going forward for the Blues. And I think it's only good things. So thank you guys once again for watching. This has been the Harry Loomis Show. We'll talk to you again soon. This is the Harry Loomis Show.